Are you worried that when you go for your professional headshots, you're going to be all Ricky Bobby and just have no idea what to do with your hands? For what it's worth, most people are pretty nervous about being awkward in front of the camera for their headshots. The good news is I can help. First things first, let's define what a headshot is. And I know that sounds really basic and elementary, but there's a reason for it. So a professional headshot is a photo of you that is from the shoulders up. That is it. The reason that's important and the reason that people get a little bit freaked out about posing for headshots is we've seen so much of this sort of stuff, which is not a headshot. If you're below this area enough to get hands and things in there, that's a portrait. It's not a headshot. And it's a pretty important distinction. For example, on LinkedIn, where you get this much room to make an impression, you may not want all of this in the shot. What's important is connecting with your audience, and you have a really limited space to do it. That's why in a headshot, we don't want to see your arms. So we just eliminated a whole lot of posing that you now don't have to worry about. The next thing to note is if you hire a professional headshot photographer, someone who actually specializes in headshots, not a wedding photographer, not a family photographer, but a headshot photographer, they should know how to pose you anyway. So you shouldn't have to come in and know anything that I'm about to teach you, but I'm going to teach you anyway. The first thing that I do with every single client that steps in front of my camera is I make them do something that feels ridiculous. What you're going to do is you're going to take your face and you're going to push it straight forward like a turtle or like a chicken or any other animal that elongates its neck. And it's hard to see on me because of my beard. You ever heard somebody say the camera adds 20 pounds? What they're doing is they're doing this, and they're pulling back and they're scrunching up their chin and everything here, and they're getting rid of any sort of jawline. When you take your face, and this only works when you're facing the camera, when you take your face and you push it straight forward, you elongate. If you don't tell people that you're doing this maneuver, they never know. If you go through my website, every human on that site is pushed forward. What it does is it tightens up the jaw, tightens up the skin around it. And if you have some action under here and don't have a magnificent beard to cover some of it, it's going to get rid of or lessen any extra skin or double chin. And as a general rule of thumb, if something feels ridiculous in front of the camera, it probably looks good. So this is going to feel ridiculous, which means it looks good. It also helps to kind of figure out your angles. What angles do you like best on your face? I have a method that I use to cheat a little bit to figure this out. A majority of times, people will naturally part their hair on their good side. Now, me, I take my hair pretty much straight back. One could infer that it's all my good side. That's not necessarily the case either. So what you can do if you don't have that reference point is take some time with your cell phone, set it up on a tripod. You can do this in video mode and then do screenshots. And you're going to start looking straight at the camera, and then you're going to come over, center, over, down to center, over. And you basically just work this in a set of 9, right? And then look at that and go, oh, which one of those angles do I like the best? Are there multiple angles that I like? That's going to give you a good indication of where you need to put your face when you're doing your headshots. And also you can look and play with things going, how do I like my body positioned in the shot? Do I like it straight on? Do I like something turned? Do I like it turned the other way? Do I like multiples? Because who said you just need one headshot? You can do multiple angles and looks and get a bigger range out of your shots. A word of warning with turning in your headshots. A little bit of a turn is fantastic, right? But you don't want to turn too far and then bring your face back all the way. See how it feels like my head is disconnected from my body? So you can do little turns and little back so you get a different angle. Right now, you notice that my nose is going away from my shoulder. I'm watching it mirrored, so I'm going to point in wrong directions, but you get the point. I know at the beginning of this, I was like, don't cross arms in headshots. That's only partially true. If you're a smaller framed person, then an arm cross can work well for you, but only if you're cropping above where the arms are crossed, because all I'm really doing is just changing the arm position a little bit. If you're a larger framed person like me, what can happen if you do the arm cross thing is it can make you look wider. So play with that and see how you feel about that in your photos. But again, this only works if you're cropping above it. If you're doing arms crossed thing in a shot that somebody sees, this is actually bad body language. What this says to people is that you're standoffish or that you're defensive or that we're going to keep distance between each other. On an instinctual level, we're protecting our organs there, and it's saying, you make me feel unsafe, and we're standing off. So if you're doing a portrait style headshot, don't do this. Okay, now let's talk about what's going on here, right? What we don't want to do is step in front of the camera and go grade school photo and just go, because fake smiles suck, and everybody can tell that your smile is fake from a million miles away, right? Not only does it look bad in the mouth, but the eyes don't work. When someone genuinely smiles and laughs, the muscles and tendons around the eyes engage. It's called a Duchenne smile. When someone fake smiles, those muscles and tendons don't engage. And so what's going on in the face doesn't match up. The eyes are doing one thing, the mouth is doing another, and it feels off, and you feel like you're having a hard time actually connecting with that person. It's my philosophy in headshot world that your headshot should feel like we're sitting across the table having a conversation, right? It needs to feel like if we were in a meeting together, I might see that face. Or if I was to meet you at a networking event or whatever, that's the person I'm meeting, not a statue. The good news is a good headshot photographer won't ask you to smile. If I want you to smile during a session in here, I'm going to make you laugh. If I need something a little bit more reserved, maybe not as big of a smile, I'm going to talk you through getting there, while at no point going, do this, do this. We're just going to interact, and real reactions will happen. You know, the ones that actually look like you. For the best result, hire a headshot specialist. I have appointments available in my studio, or if you happen to not be in Louisville, if I know anybody in your area, I am happy to make recommendations.